So in this next exercise, let's just look at some shortcut keys and some other ways to make our job easier. And we'll start with shortcut keys for changing our view of the object. To change shortcut keys, we'll go to Window and Preferences and look for shortcut keys. Looks like I'm already there. If I click inside this column of functions, I can scroll down and see, let's see, igloo, camera image. I have no idea what that does. But I did go through this whole list and find a lot of these letters, and I've created a list for you, and I'll share what the default is. But we want to change or add some. So what I'd like to do is do this camera parallel projection. So I'll select it, and over here, under Add Shortcut, I'll just simply press the letter V. Now, it turned out to be a capital. I didn't have to make it that way. My caps lock's not on. That's just it. Default is going to be showing this way. To create a sign, I'll click plus, and I'll click OK. So my first one is in. Now to try that, I guess I'll just press the letter V, and it changed what I'm looking at. But what does it really do? Let's switch to overhead and look straight down. Now as I zoom in, I can see the back sides of these posts and the front of my building, which means I'm in a view that's got perspective, like single line or double line perspective. If I press V, it's completely square, straight down. I can still tilt it, but when I press overhead or click overhead, it is straight down, straight down. Which means I can use this to line things up better. I can see how things are really drawn. Okay, so I'll switch back. Letter V. That was handy. Help. There we are. That was bizarre. So now I have my building. Let's do another tool. If I wanted to get inside my building, I can't just open the door. I can look through the window, but I can't make any changes. All I really can do is select, say, the back wall and delete it. But that would let me see, but I can't make any changes, because if I want to put the wall back, I do Control Z, and I'll do that now. And anything else I might have done inside would also be undone. So we need to hide this and then be able to unhide it, and that's the controls we're going to add to shortcuts. So let's do that now. I'll click on Windows again and go down to Preferences, Shortcuts. I'm there, and then instead of scrolling for it, I'm just going to type in hide and see what I get. There we are. Edit hide. So I'm going to make that an H, and I click plus, and it shows up down here, and I'll click OK, and then I'll need a way to unhide. So I'll go back to Window, Preferences, Shortcuts, and I think I'll just unhide all. When I'm done, I think I want it to unhide everything. And to make this, I'm going to do a Shift H. So notice what shows up, the Shift and the H. That's the reason we didn't put a capital in there before. So a Shift and an H, and I'll click OK. I think that'll do it for those. So let's try it. So here's my surface. If I press H for hide, it's gone. I'll actually draw in that roof because it's missing it. R for rectangle. Click this point. Click this point. Yes, that's true. And then I'll do a Shift H. Oh, select Shift H, and I should get my wall back, and my roof is in there. Well, I can't really see through my window now, but it is in there. I know it is. Okay, so that's done. What else can we do? Well, it turns out that when our person here shows up, there's kind of a reason for that. And that has to do with scale. Have you ever, well, let's take a look at this. If I were to zoom out, there, select, and have you ever accidentally lost track of scale and drew your rectangle R over here and started designing something and notice your numbers were way off and you wonder where your other buildings were? Well, I believe this character that's here is here just to help us keep track of scale. There she is. And I guess when I'm accustomed to doing or using SketchUp and not worrying about losing track of the scale, I can probably just delete her. That's what I want to do, is just show you how to do it or create a template. Let's see if I can get rid of this ginormous building over here. There. We'll do this with a blank drawing. So I'll click File, New, and no, I don't want to save this. So now I have a new one, and there she is. So I just select her, delete her, and it's gone. But if I open SketchUp, she'll be back. So how do we make this permanent? Well, to make this permanent, we need to, well, create a template. So click on File, Save as Template. That means whatever I have here will be default whenever I open it. So I can even have some objects there. So this is going to be my template, my, and I think I'll put why I did it. The person is gone. I'll click Save. I'll set as default template. That's handy. And overwrite the existing, yeah, because I already had one. And I'll click Yes, because I do want to make that change. Let's try that. So if I close SketchUp and then open it again, there we are, and no person. Woohoo! Okay. There's something else I'd like to change on this. It has to do with defaults. Let's go back into Window, Preferences. Well, this time we're going to change it in Drawing. Let's try Display Crosshairs and see what that does for us. I'll click OK, and now I suppose I could use let's see, we'll switch to this side. I suppose I could use a rectangle, R, and draw. So now I can see where my rectangle is actually drawing. Push-pull tool pulls it up, and there we are. And if I want to move this, first I'll select it all and make a group. Now if I move it, I'll grab it by the corner. I can see within what plane I'm actually moving it. Because if I'm moving it along the red axis, it will be there. So I can see everything. All right, so we'll leave that. Then let's do something else. Let's create something to go with this. I'm going to look down at my big block here. I'm going to create a step. So we get rectangle tool. Now we're just going to have some fun. I'll create a rectangle here, something like this, and look at it from the side. There we are. Push-pull tool. Let's pull it up a little bit and select it and make it a component. You remember we've made components, and we have special characteristics that can happen when we make components. So if I spin this around and go to move this component, I'll grab this, slide it along here, and tack it right to my building. There we are. And let's see. I think I'll spin it this way. And if I were to grab this and move it, oh, maybe not this corner. Maybe I want this corner here, this inside corner. So grab this bottom corner here and move it up here, pressing Control, makes a copy, and I'll snap it to the top of this. You remember, if we do a number, let's see, how many do I want? Let's put 15 more in there. What have I done? I've created steps. Isn't that cool? Okay, so steps are there. Let's try something else. Let's see if we can draw some lines on our building. And so I'll press L for line drawing tool and draw right on our building, or our cube. And there's another one. And I think you know where this is going. Okay, so did I select that right? Control Z. I don't think so. There, now let's draw some lines. Okay, and you can see my lines are following that reference. Good. That ought to be enough. Well, we'll use those. Select away, and then use the push-pull tool and pull these surfaces out. And as I do that, I can make more steps. I think I just drew lines inside there before for the others, but you get the idea. So play with those, see what you can make, and that's all we have for today.